How's it, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Let's go through Tour de France 2026 Week 2 recap and Week 3 preview. 15 stages down, 6 to go, and this tour just lost one of its two biggest stars. Jonas Vingegaard crashed out of the race on Sunday with a fractured collarbone, and the entire complexion of this tour changed in an instant. Before we look at a brutal decisive final week, let's properly recap how we got here, because week 2 somehow topped week 1 for chaos. Grab a coffee, this one's a bit longer than usual. Let's break it down. Week 2 opened on Bastille Day with stage 10, and it was pure theatre. Pogacar attacked on the exact same climb, the Col de Pertus, where Vingegaard had beaten him at Les Liorans back in 2024. This time Pogacar got his revenge, riding solo to the wind and stretching his lead to 3 minutes 36. Stage 11 gave us one of the wildest twists of the whole race. Soren Warnschuld finished dead last in Les Liorans the day before, then won stage 11 outright, setting the record for the fastest stage in Tour de France history at over 50 km an hour average. Last to first in 24 hours. Stage 12 started in an actual Formula 1 circuit, the first time the Tour has ever used Magny-Cours, and despite rain and repeated attacks from Little Trek trying to blow it apart, it came back together for a bunch sprint, won by Tim Merlier for his third stage victory of this Tour. Stage 13 was the longest of the entire race, at 205.8 kilometers, and with over 150 flat kilometers before anything happened. No team bothered chasing. A huge breakaway group went the distance, with Mauro Schmid outsprinting Harold Tejeda for the win. Tom Pidcock quietly used the stage to climb into the top 5 overall. Then came stage 14, short, brutal, and absolutely stacked with climbing through the Vosges. Pogacar attacked again near the top of the brand new Col du Hard and rode solo to his 4th stage win of the race, extending his lead to 4 minutes 30 seconds. 19-year-old Paul Sexas grabbed the white jersey in the process. And then stage 15, the Tour's first Alpine summit finish at the brand new Plateau de Solaizon, and it delivered one of the most dramatic days of the entire race. Remco Evenepoel took his first ever mountain stage win at Tour, outsprinting Pogacar and Isaac Del Toro at the line. But the real story happened 20 kilometers from the finish. Jonas Vingegaard front wheel slipped exiting a roundabout, and he crashed hard alongside his teammate Sepp Kuss and Pogacar's teammate Isaac Del Toro. Kuss and Del Toro were able to continue. Vingegaard wasn't. He was taken away in an ambulance with a fractured collarbone that will require surgery, and his Tour de France is over. So here's exactly where things sit heading into the second race day. Tadej Pogacar leads the general classification by 5 minutes flat over Remco Evenepoel, who's now the closest thing this race has to a real challenger. Isaac Del Toro follows, and he's also taken over the white jersey as best young rider. Paul Sexas is 4th, Florian Lipovitz 5th, and Juan Ayuso 6th, all still within about 2.5 minutes of the podium. In the other classification, Mats Petersen continues to lead the Green Points jersey, and with Vingegaard, who had actually taken over the Polka Dot Mountains jersey in the Vosges, now out of the race entirely, that classification is suddenly up for grabs heading into week 3. Put simply, with Vingegaard gone, Pogacar's biggest rival is no longer on the road. This Tour just got a lot more one-sided at the top, but a 5-minute gap at 6 brutal mountain stages still to come is far from a formality. A few things I'll be watching closely as racing resumes. First, can anyone actually put Pogacar under real pressure without Vingegaard in the race? Evenepoel just proved on the Plateau de Solaizon that he can still win a mountain stage outright, and he's the nearest thing to a genuine threat left standing. Second, the fight for the final podium spot. Del Toro, Sexas, Lipovitz, and Ayuso are separated by less than 2.5 minutes, and with UAE Team Emirates clearly working to protect Del Toro's position, expect real tension both between and within teams as the Alps approach. And third, Vingegaard's absence changes the team's tactics completely. Does Malisebai come into this tour built entirely around defending or attacking for their leader? Now they've lost that leader with a week still to go, which could open the door for a stage hunting role instead. Week 3 opens today, Tuesday, with a 26-kilometer individual time trial between Evian-les-Bains and Thonon-les-Bains on the shores of Lake Geneva, a real chance for Pogačar to extend his lead even further, given how strong he's been against the clock all race. Stage 7 gives the sprinters one last chance into Voiron through a punchy opening 60 kilometers, could easily hand it to a breakaway instead. Then the race enters its brutal final stage. Stage 18 finishes uphill at the ski resort of Ossiers-Merlet. Stage 19 is genuinely historic. The tour returns to a legendary Alpe d'Huez and its 21 hairpins for the first time since Tom Pidcock's famous win in 2022, preceded by the Col du Noir. And then stage 20, the queen stage of this entire tour. Over 5,400 meters of climbing across the Col de la Croix and Col de Gerlave and the mighty Col du Calabrier, before the tour climbs Alpe d'Huez for a second time in 2 days, this time from the other side, via the Col de Sérène. It's the first time the tour has finished on the same mountain on consecutive days since 1979, and whoever is in yellow after that stage is almost certainly winning this tour. Then it's the procession into Paris on stage 21, with 3 ascents of the cobbled Montmartre climb before the finish on the Champs-Élysées. So that's where we stand. Pogačar in a hugely commanding position, but with his biggest rival suddenly out of the race, 4 brutal mountain stages, a time trial, and a genuine historic Alpe d'Huez double header still to come. This tour has already given us a breakaway records, revenge finishes, and heartbreak. I wouldn't bet against more before we reach Paris. I'll be back with stage 17 preview once the racing resumes. Look pro, ride slow. Cheers, guys.